Sound editing in film is an essential part of storytelling, shaping the way audiences perceive and connect with what they see on screen.
Explorer, this is Houston.
Go ahead.
It involves selecting, modifying, and assembling sound elements such as dialogue, sound effects, and music to create a seamless and immersive experience. Without it, films would feel incomplete, lacking the depth and texture that well-crafted audio brings to each scene. This is my personal take on why sound editing matters. Before computers, sound editing was a physical and time-consuming task. Editors used to work with magnetic tape and optical soundtracks, manually cutting and splicing audio to achieve the right timing and flow. This required precision, as any mistake meant redoing the cut or even starting over. Editors like Murray Spivak, who worked on King Kong, used creative techniques to build soundscapes, such as layering animal roars to create the famous roar of the giant ape. As sound editing developed, new methods emerged to create and manipulate sound effects. Foley artists became an integral part of the process, performing and recording sounds in sync with on-screen action. Jack Foley, whose name became synonymous with this technique, helped establish the practice of adding footsteps, cloth movements, and environmental sounds in post-production. This allowed for greater control of the film's sound, ensuring that every movement had an appropriate auditory counterpart.
In Back to the Future, Marty borrows a scooter, pulls part of it off and turns it into a skateboard. When I go to a movie, if the sound job is wonderful, I get lost in the film. In fact, that's what we all want.
The creation of sound effects required both technical skill and creativity. Editors like Ben Burtt, who designed the sounds for Star Wars, explored unconventional sources to develop unique audio elements. He blended animal sounds, machinery, and synthesized tones to craft iconic effects, such as the hum of lightsabers and the mechanical breathing of Darth Vader. This approach demonstrated that sound editing was not just about assembling existing recordings, but also about designing new ones that contributed to the world building. Speaking of Star Wars, another important advancement in sound is the creation of the audio company THX. THX was created by audio engineer Tomlinson Holman in 1983 for Lucasfilm to ensure consistent, high-quality sound production in theaters.
Wouldn't it be great if we could get theaters that the public goes and sees a movie to sound this good? Because then what we hear here is the same thing they would hear there. And that really started the whole THX program. They then expanded into the process of quality control, which is always a very big issue.
Unlike a specific audio format, THX is a certification system that sets standards for cinema acoustics, speaker placement, and sound processing, ensuring that films sound as intended by the creators. It became especially important for sound mixing, as it provided a reliable reference environment, allowing sound engineers to mix with confidence, knowing that the theaters meeting THX standards would accurately reproduce their work. This improved audience immersion and heightened the impact of film sound, influencing how modern theaters and home entertainment systems are designed today. THX certified editors and mixers offer their service around the world to guarantee a great quality sound in films. It is important to mention that sound editing involves selecting, arranging, manipulating, and even creating individual audio elements such as dialogue, sound effects, and music to fit a film's narrative. Sound mixing, on the other hand, focuses on balancing and blending these elements, adjusting volume levels, panning, and blending effects to create a cohesive and immersive audio experience that helps the narrative and emotion of the movie. The sound editor often works after the video editor has finished his or her job. Then the sound editor receives the production audio and analyzes it, then cleans the unwanted noise, syncs the dialogue with the help of the slate previously used in the shooting. The sound spike made by the slate can be seen in the editing software, and the sound is synced with the image.
79 fucking explosives.
Then the sound editor cleans the dialogue, adds sound effects, and ambience with something called room tone, which is a term for the sound of silence of a specific place. As crazy as it sounds, every room, space or set where the story and filming takes place has a different silence and ambience. The room tone is usually recorded during the filming of the movie, to use when no dialogue is being spoken, and to ensure a seamless transition between sounds, dialogue and effects.
I can't get down to the office and that garbage truck next to the office. Hey, Scott.
Then, the sound editor delivers all these to the sound mixer. Both sound editor and mixer use a variety of softwares to ensure an efficient job and workflow. The introduction of digital technology changed sound editing by making the process more flexible and precise. With the arrival of digital audio workstations, DAWs, editors could manipulate sound on a computer, adjusting timing, pitch, and effects with greater accuracy. Walter Murch, known for his work on Apocalypse Now and The Conversation, was an advocate for using digital tools to refine sound editing, helping bridge the gap between traditional and modern techniques. His approach combined a deep understanding of sound's emotional impact with a willingness to experiment with the new methods. Dialogue editing also played an important role in shaping a film's final sound. Background noise, inconsistencies in speech, and unclear recordings often require adjustments to ensure clarity. Supervising sound editors like Richard Himes worked on refining dialogue using techniques such as ADR, automated dialogue replacement, to re-record lines in a controlled environment. This process allowed for a cleaner, more consistent audio track that improved the audience's ability to follow the story. Music editing became another key aspect of sound editing, determining how a film's score blended with dialogue and effects. Editors worked closely with composers to align musical cues with emotional beats in the narrative. Figures like Mark Mangini, known for his contributions to films like Mad Max Fury Road, demonstrated how precise editing could integrate music seamlessly into the overall sound design, helping to elevate dramatic moments without overpowering all the audio elements. Advancements in technology also introduced new ways of working with sound. The rise of surround sounds format, such as Dolby Atmos, gave editors the ability to place audio elements in a three-dimensional space. This changed how soundscapes were constructed, requiring editors to think about depth and movement within the mix. The ability to position sounds around the audience allowed for more immersive experiences, making sound editing an even more intricate and layered process. Sound editing also became important for different genres, as each required a distinct approach. In science fiction and fantasy, editors had to invent sounds for creatures, technology, and otherworldly environments. In horror films, unsettling noises and sudden bursts of sounds were carefully placed to build suspense.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
Action films relied on rapid-fire editing to maintain energy and excitement. Each genre presented challenges that editors had to solve by blending creativity with technical skill. Despite all the technological changes, the core of sound editing has remained focused on storytelling. Whether using analog tape or digital software, editors shape the way audiences experience film through carefully crafted sound. The work goes beyond technical execution, involving creativity, problem-solving, and an understanding of how sound influences emotion. Through their efforts, films gain depth and dimension, ensuring that every scene is heard as well as seen. And this is why I think sound editing matters. Thank you for watching and see you next time.